Well, better late than never. It's time once again for the HorrorPack unboxing video for February 2023. As I said, it's time for my monthly unboxing and discussion of the offerings from the fine folks at HorrorPack, the monthly horror movie subscription service that sends either for DVDs or for Blu-rays, depending on your subscription package. Every month, I get both of them and I open them up here on this channel and discover at the same time as y'all do what I've got, and then I talk about them a little bit. I should also point out that this month marks 6 months since my last mass review video. So for those of you who are maybe new to this channel or don't know, every 6 months, because I haven't seen the movies yet when I do these videos and open them up, I will do a mass review and review 6 months worth at a time, where I'll do an actual review having seen the films. I have not yet seen these, of course, so that's not this video, but that will be coming soon, so be sure to stick around for that. And of course, if you're not a subscriber to the HorrorPack service, but if you're interested in any of the films that come out of these boxes, I'll be putting purchase links down in the What's It so you can check those out for yourself and support this channel at the same time. It's a win-win situation, I think. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and open them up and see what I've got. Obviously, I only have one sitting here, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But while I am opening this up, let me just remind you to be sure to subscribe, share this video with a friend, click the like button, do all of those YouTube-y things that help me to grow this channel. Anyway, here's the first package. This is the Blu-ray package. I can tell without even opening that because let me show you how the DVD package arrived. The DVD package arrived on my porch like this. Loose, open, not exactly what I was expecting. I had seen on the USPS tracking service that it was supposed to be delivered in my mailbox one particular evening. Wasn't there. The next morning I found this sitting on my porch, checked the doorbell camera thing that I have, and discovered that one of my neighbors brought it and left it like this. Now I realize that of course it is a felony to open somebody's mail if it's not addressed to you. I realize that an element of that crime is intent, and of course the post office just delivered this to the wrong address and my neighbor opened it without bothering to read the label. But if you make that mistake, I realize that may not actually be a crime because there's not intent there. But if you make that mistake, the least you can do is at least put it back in the box. Don't leave it like this on the porch for everybody on the street to just see it sitting there. And honestly, ring my doorbell and apologize for opening my mail. Don't be a schmuck, okay? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, this is obviously the DVD pack, already opened, and so I can kind of see, I'm not cheating and peeking ahead, but I can kind of see what's inside because my neighbor was a schmuck. But I like to start with the DVDs anyway, so let's dive right in and start looking at what we've got. The first is a film called Freshwater. This is a film with which I'm not familiar. I haven't seen it. I can tell by the cover it's clearly an alligator or crocodile kind of a movie, so I tend to like those. Let's read the description and see what we're in for, shall we? The description says, Lake Charles is the idyllic spot to catch some sun and enjoy the tranquil miles of fresh water. When a group of 20-somethings meet up at their island lake house for a weekend of partying, one of the friends never shows up. As more lake visitors are yanked underwater by what seems to be some giant alligators, the screams bring the group out of the lake house. Frantically discovering their boat has drifted away, they have to watch helplessly as more of their friends are pulled under the water. Will anyone get off the island alive in one piece? Something more sinister seems to be at play. So yeah, alligator movie. I'm all for it. You know, a lot of these kinds of movies, alligator movies, shark movies, giant, monstrous, murderous animal kinds of movies, frequently tend to be B-grade cheesy, and I like that too, but some of them even sort of transcend that and end up being really good stories. Hopefully this will be at least a good cheesy watch. and I'm looking forward to trying Freshwater. Next, we have one I have seen. That's The Nun, part of the Conjuring franchise. The HorrorPack people have sent most of the Conjuring movies by this point over the couple of years that I've been a subscriber. Not all at once, obviously, sort of peppered in throughout. And every time I get one, I say pretty much the same thing. I like the Conjuring movies. I don't think they're the best horror movies ever, but they're pretty good. However, because they claim to be based on a true story, and I have some strong feelings about the Warrens, the real people on which the stories are based, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with the movies. But I gotta say, The Nun, I think, was one of the creepier entries in the franchise, and it's largely because of the nun that the title refers to, who is really creepy as all hell, so it was pretty good. For those of you who don't know, I'll quickly read the description on this one as well, which says, when a young nun at a cloistered abbey in Romania takes her own life, a priest with a haunted past and a novitiate on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate. Together they uncover the order's unholy secret. Risking not only their lives, but their faith and very souls, they confront a malevolent force in the form of a demonic nun, who first terrorized audiences in The Conjuring 2. Soon, the abbey becomes a horrific battleground between the living and the damned. So, a pretty good movie. I already had a copy, I've already seen it, but it's definitely a worthy entry. The next one we got looks like a Blu-ray. It's actually a Blu-ray and a DVD combined, so it still fits in with a DVD package, and that's Truth or Dare. This is the new Truth or Dare movie. I think it was Blumhouse. Yeah, it says Blumhouse. I haven't seen it, but I know about it. And, you know, it's a Truth or Dare horror movie. My expectations are not super high, but it's also a Blumhouse movie, and they usually do pretty good work. So I think we're in for a pretty good, fun kind of a horror movie. Let's read the description on this one as well. The description says, the game only ends when all the players are dead. Lucy Hale and Tyler Posey lead the cast of Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, a supernatural thriller from Blumhouse Productions. A harmless game of Truth or Dare among friends turns deadly when someone, or something, begins to punish those who tell a lie or refuse the dare. Yeah, pretty much what we expect, right? But like I said, I haven't seen it. I've been meaning to watch it for quite a while now. It came out several years ago, just never got around to it, so looking forward to diving into that one. And that brings us to the final DVD entry, which is a film called Evil Everywhere. The little tagline says, Death Beckons. And indeed it does. It's calling all of us, it would seem. Just some faster than others. Anyway, the description on this one says, it has returned to end them all. In 1985, an ancient evil began slaughtering the high school senior class in alphabetical order. But it was stopped. And on that note, now I'm sort of wondering, was this alphabetical order by first name or by surname? I don't know why that thought just pops into my head, but these are the thoughts that kept me out of the Ivy Leagues. I don't know. Anyway, carrying on, it says, 2 years later, it has resurfaced, and a trio of friends must join together against the demonic force that is claiming new young lives. But what they discover is more complicated and evil than any of them imagined. So it's not really telling us a whole lot about what the demonic force is, other than it is some sort of evil demonic force, and it's killing students in alphabetical order. I suppose that's as good a way to choose victims as any, or to choose the order of victims. You know, it sounds like a fun movie. That's really all I can say. It is, of course, one I have not seen. There's a quote on the back that says, wicked throwback 1980s style slasher and supernatural madness. And y'all know I love some 80s horror, so if it's anything like the 80s movies, it should be a good one, and I'm looking forward to Evil Everywhere. So that concludes the DVD portion. Let's move on to the Blu-rays coming out of this little package here. One of these, of course, will be the HorrorPack exclusive. I didn't mention at the beginning, if you subscribe to the Blu-ray pack, every month one of them's an exclusive. Maybe it's the first time on Blu-ray, or it's a signed edition sometimes, or something like that. So we'll be looking forward to that. But there will also be 3 other Blu-rays. The first of which is The Forever Purge, the, I believe, most recent sequel in the Purge franchise. This is the one I have not yet seen. I missed it when it came to the theaters and just haven't got around to it yet. I have overall liked the Purge series. I thought the first one was excellent, and as is frequently the case, the sequels have kind of gone downhill a little bit, but they're still good. They're just not as good as that first one. So I'm looking forward to trying this one. Let's read the description. I think we kind of know what the Purge is all about, but let's read the description anyway. According to the back, one night is not enough, as members of an underground movement, no longer satisfied with the annual night of anarchy and murder, decide to overtake America through an unending campaign of mayhem and massacre. No one is safe. On the morning after the Purge, a masked gang of killers attacks a wealthy Texas ranching family and their workers. Exposed by daylight, the two families are forced to band together and fight back as the country spirals into chaos and the United States begins to disintegrate around them. So, this is moving in the sort of, at least it sounds like, more widespread sort of political commentary sort of horror, whereas the original was the idea of the original one, that we had this one night where any crime is legal, and the implications of that, and confining that to one night, but it still being a horrifying experience and becoming a sort of home invasion story. That was the brilliance of the first one. They've gotten further and further away from that as the series has gone on, and this one similarly seems to be moving further away from that. In fact, it's explicitly moving away from that because it sounds like it's not just one night anymore, but people have taken that idea of the Purge and expanded that broader. It could still be a very good movie, but I'm not sure if it is in line with the idea of what the Purge was supposed to be. So I have some mixed thoughts on the theme, but like I said, overall, even though the first one is still my favorite, I've liked the franchise. I've been meaning to watch this one. I'm thrilled to have gotten it so that I can watch it now. And for now, that's really all I can say. Looking forward to trying The Forever Purge. And then next we have a film called The Fanatic. It says it stars John Travolta, and the tagline says, "All he wanted was an autograph." I collect signed books, so I can kind of relate. Although, I've not seen the film, I don't know anything about it, but just from the sound of the way that tagline was written, I'm guessing that the guy in this movie goes a little further for the autograph than I'm willing to do. The description says, "On the grimy streets of Hollywood, a celebrity-obsessed man feels slighted by his favorite movie star and embarks on an unhinged quest to get a response, leading to a home invasion and a very long night that changes both men irreparably." So, okay, on the first note, the fact that I collect signed books and signed DVDs and things, I have never been celebrity-obsessed, I should clarify. I've never done the fanboy thing, except maybe once when I had the opportunity to meet Buzz Aldrin, and I think I can be forgiven for that one. So, I don't do the fan thing. I just like to collect signed books. So the idea of being celebrity obsessed and stalking celebrities to the point of a home invasion is alien to me. But it's also, I think, an interesting commentary on our celebrity obsessed culture, that we sort of drive people to do not necessarily this level of things, not necessarily violence or home invasions, but we drive people to become obsessed with celebrity and then act surprised when they become obsessed with celebrity. So hopefully this film has some of that in it, some of that sort of social commentary. Even if it doesn't, it sounds like an interesting home invasion story, and I do like a good home invasion horror story, whether written or on screen. John Travolta, big name attached to it, so presumably there's some good production value. I am very much looking forward to trying this one as well. That's The Fanatic. And then next we have a film called Open 24 Hours. This looks familiar. The tagline says, "Pray you never run out of gas," and "Welcome to the graveyard shift." We've got a guy with some sort of a weapon. It looks like a pickaxe or maybe a hammer standing in front of a car. That really looks familiar, but I don't believe I've seen it. I think it's just that the cover looks similar to other covers. Let's read the description and find out what we're in for, shall we? It says, "Don't Breathe meets House of the Devil. A paranoid delusional woman, Mary White, has just been released from a mental hospital for setting her serial killer boyfriend on fire." As you do, I suppose. I'm not sure we can blame her. Anyway, it says Mary suffers from severe paranoia and hallucinations, as one would under such circumstances. Her boyfriend, James Lincoln Fields, is a brutal serial killer known as the Rain Ripper. He enjoyed murdering people and making Mary watch. After being released from the hospital, Mary's vulnerable demeanor aids her in obtaining employment at an all-night gas station. I have visited gas stations in the middle of the night. You know, I'm just saying, if you're mentally unwell, as understandably as that may be, you know, you've been the victim of a crime, all these things, that may not be the job for you. I mean, I have seen some critters wander into those gas stations. I'm just saying. Anyway, carrying on, it says, however, left alone to her own devices, her paranoia and hallucinations return with furious consequences. Customers and friends suddenly start turning up dead and mutilated all around her. So it seems like we've got a slasher movie combined with some psychological horror, and maybe we're wondering, I don't know how clear it's made in the film, but perhaps we're wondering whether she's crazy and hallucinating, because it does say she hallucinates, versus whether there's really something going on, and maybe a little bit of both. Anyway, I really like this kind of movie, and I really, as much as I was joking during while I was reading the description, I actually think the description sounds really good. I was joking because it sounds good, and I like this kind of thing, so I'm very much looking forward to Open 24 Hours as well. And so the last one must be the HorrorPack exclusive, and it is, I can see exclusive number 80, it is Bad Dreams, the Best of Nightmares Film Festival 2022. I'm really excited about this one. I've gotten one of these before. It was the Best of the Nightmares Film Festival. I think it must have been 2021. Came several months back in one of the horror packs. It's a collection of short films from the film festival. And the previous one was really good. I'm not going to say every film on it was my cup of tea, but most of them were at least good, and there were a few really great ones. If this one is anything like that one was, we're in for a real treat. The description on the back just says 10 more terrifying tales from your darkest nightmares. Hashtag better horror. I don't particularly like hashtags, but I think we can forgive it. And then it says, Nightmares Film Festival sets itself apart from other genre fests by its deep year-round connection to the horror filmmaking community, which gives it the first line on the rarest, scariest, most daring, and most unsettling films being created around the country. This collection of films, curated directly from the 2022 program, overflows with a unique mix of subjects, powerful voices, and boundary-pushing stories. Nightmares Film Festival has been named one of the world's top horror film festivals by every major genre outlet, and these films exemplify the outstanding quality of the 2022 festival. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. I always seem to enjoy, or almost always seem to enjoy, the HorrorPack exclusives. They pick good ones. This one I am particularly excited about because it's a follow-up to one that was really good. So, very much looking forward to that, as well as all the others. And so once again, we're coming to the end of our time together. A little bit different from the way we've usually done things because one of my boxes was opened, but nevertheless, 8 wonderful new films for my collection. I'm looking forward to watching all of these. And of course, let me just remind you, my 6-month review of all of the HorrorPack films, including these, will be coming very soon, as soon as I finish watching these and the 1 or 2 from previous months that I haven't gotten to yet. So I'll be going to watch these. I will be starting to prepare my reviews. That will be coming very soon. Do make sure you've subscribed and rung the notification bell so you don't miss it. Leave me a comment, share this video, tell a friend, all those YouTube-y things. Helps me grow the channel. Very much appreciated. I say it every time. Frankly, I get as tired of saying it as I'm sure you get tired of hearing it, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Anyway, I'm off to watch some movies. So until next time, take care and stay scared.